Hi everyone, my name is Hamza and I am IT consultant working at Norway. In the previous video, I configured AAA on a network device to ensure that only authorized user can access the device console and VTY. And I achieved that by using Cisco Identity Services Engine and Active Directory. Today's video will be on how to configure Cisco Identity Services Engine to enforce the use of external identity store when logging to both the Cisco Identity Service Engine GUI and CLI. This configuration is crucial for enhancing security and ensuring that only authorized personnel can access the Cisco Identity Services Engine environment. If that sounds good, let's get started. Okay, so this is my ISE node, and as we can see, the username and password that I am using for the GUI login is the internal username and password, and this is my domain controller, and I already configured a group called ADM and configured this ADM HMZ user, and I gave it administrative privileges. So I need to log in to my node now. And the first thing, I need to go to administration and external identity source and join my Active Directory. I will click on my node and join and use the ADM HMZ username and password and click on OK, and the node status is completed. So I need to retrieve the ADM group, so I can click on groups, click on add, select groups and retrieve groups, and I am interested only in the ADM group, so I will select it and click on OK and click on save. And from here we can go to the system and admin access. And here the authentication type is password based and the identity source is internal. I will use my Active Directory. Click on save. And now I need to go to the administrators and create a new group. So admin group, and click on add, give it a name. The type is external. And here I can choose the group that I retrieved from my Active Directory, and this is the ADM group that I will be using. And the user, I will leave it empty and I will click on submit. The next step is going to the admin users, create a new user, create an admin user and click on external, and here I can choose the admin group that will be associated with it. So this is my ADM ISE group. Click on submit. And now I need to go to the authorization and the permission. Here I can specify what are the menu that will be available for this user and the data that will be available for this user. So I will go to the menu access and just duplicate this super admin menu access, and I will just give it a different name and click on submit. And the data access, I will duplicate the super admin data. I will just give it a different name. And here I can modify the access for the data, if it's a full access or read-only access or no access at all. And I will just give it a full access and click on submit. So I have full access both for the menu and the data. And the final step is going to the policy and creating a new policy. Insert a new policy and I will give it a name. And the group that I will be using is the group that we created, ADM ISE group. Oops. And the permission. So this is for the menu access, I will choose my interstellar menu and click on the plus, and here I need to specify the data access as well, so I will use the interstellar data. And now I will click save, and now we are ready to test the external identity sources. So I will log out, and now we can see the identity source. I can choose the internal database or the Active Directory. So I will choose on my Active Directory joint point and write the username and password and click on login. And now I am in my ISE environment using my external identity sources, username and password. And let's move on to configuring the CLI part. So if we check the CLI now, and from the CLI I cannot use the external identity sources yet because I need to configure some comments in the CLI, and then I will be able to use the external identity sources for the login. So now I logged into the CLI using my internal username and password, and in order to use the external identity source I need to configure identity store Active Directory, and I will give the domain name and the username that having a administrative privilege. In my case is the ADM HMZ, and I will click on enter. And here is telling me if the domain bitlab.no is already joined via UI, then you must rejoin the domain bitlab from the UI after this configuration. Until a rejoin happens, authentication to the bitlab.no will fail. Do you want to proceed? Yes, I want. And the password for the ADM HMZ. Join to domain bitlab.no successfully. I am not finished yet with the configuration. I need to go back to my domain controller, and I need to go to the admin HMZ user and click on properties, and I cannot see the attribute here, so I need to choose the view, and I will click on advanced feature, and then I will go to the user ADM HMZ and click on properties and go to the attribute. I need to find the GID attribute. So if I can search for it, the GID number, and this GID number I need to use the 110 value. This is for the admin, and click on OK. And now I need to go to the UID number, and I need to give it a value from 60,000 and higher. And if I have different admin, I need to give them a unique value from the 60,000 and higher. So I will just use 60,001 and click on OK, and click on apply and OK. And now let's test if I am going to be able to use my external identity store. And now you can see creating directory, and now I'm logged in using my external identity store. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any question, please let me know in the comment below. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank you.